Hi everyone, my name's Sean. I play guitar and I have been on volumes 2 and 3 and the Christmas EP for a really cool band. As far as my background in music goes, I started playing guitar like right on the cusp of turning 13 years old. I had a pretty musical household. My dad came from South America, and so there was a lot of like vallenato and Latin American music coming around the house a lot. That's a pretty like distinct memory I have. And on the other side of the spectrum, my mom was a big like 70s rock music fan, so we had lots of stuff like AC/DC, Elton John, Led Zeppelin, Elvis Costello, playing around the house a lot. So, it was very like guitar oriented music that I was hearing a lot of from her specifically. Eventually, all this stuff, seeped into my brain, and I just remember for years asking to want a guitar, especially because at the time I was super obsessed with AC/DC and Angus Young, that I would just play those albums on repeat, like Highway to Hell, Let There Be Rock, Power Age, all that stuff. When I was 12, on the cusp of 13, my mom and uncle had basically come to an agreement that my uncle was going to give me one of his endorsement guitars that he had gotten as an early birthday gift to me. I still have that guitar. It's super sentimental to me, and actually for a first guitar, it's surprisingly crazy nice. That's not normally the kind of instrument you would give a 13-year-old to learn on, but I was super appreciative of it. And over the years, I was really fortunate that my uncle has like a pretty booming musical career and has been in like a really well performing like industrial nu metal band in the early 2000s, and then went on to play guitar for Lita Ford, who most people know from the Runaways, as well as doing a couple of other projects like playing guitar for like Rob Zombie and writing the theme song for WWE Raw and whatnot. So it was kind of cool to have like a bona fide rock star like in the family, and that was a huge like inspiration to push me farther as a musician. So throughout pretty much my entire teen years, even to the present day, I'm like very much a big proponent of practicing and trying to constantly like improve myself on my instrument. As time progressed and I started meeting other people my age, especially in high school, I was lucky enough to kind of link up with a couple of people that have turned into some of my best friends that I still am in, regular contact with. And we played in a band from the time I was like 16 to about 19, called Baphometus. This was like kind of like a death metal hardcore band, and we did some gigs around Austin for a couple years. I helped produce a very shoddy EP as teenagers, from like my dad's old Windows 98 computer. Past that, I had another project that I did called Citri that two of the members from that previous band, we kind of went in a different direction. That this was mostly kind of spearheaded by me. That was just me singing and playing guitar, and we wrote and recorded one album and released it. Did a couple of cool shows with a couple of bands like I really look up to, and it was some of the best times I think I've had gigging wise. It really was like a fantastic period of my life. And fast forward to now, I'm in a new project with a couple of the members from a really cool band like Caleb, Jason, and Mike, and we are in a new project called Fishing on Couches. That's kind of our little love letter to J-rock. It really appeals to me specifically because it kind of mixes a lot of the like pop sensibilities that you would get from like Western, like American style music, but mixing it in with a little bit more of like the guitar centric music that I loved hearing from like the 70s through the 90s that you don't really hear a whole lot of in today's day and age. So I'm really stoked to start releasing music under this project, as well as contributing more stuff to a really, really cool band. So, is it okay if I talk about stuff from Volume 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be out
By the time
Thursday,
this comes
so.
out. Yeah, okay, cool. So one of my favorite moments from the really, really cool band sessions probably had to be on Volume 6 when we were recording the solo for Tumors. That particular song kind of came about from Billy and Dylan kind of coming in with this very kind of slow and droning kind of song. And when the suggestion came up that we would do some kind of a solo for it, my initial thought was that I wanted it to kind of be some kind of Alice in Chains, very kind of like groovy, dirty kind of solo. So I asked if anyone had like a wah pedal, which is an effect that you can use like with your foot to kind of give the guitar like its own distinct voice. We didn't really have one available, but Mike chimed in and said, I have this other thing called a talk box that we could try using. And I had never used one personally, but we figured let's try it. And for people who don't know, it's basically this little box that you put between your guitar and the amplifier, and it's got like a little plastic tube that comes out of it, and you put it in your mouth, and you basically use your mouth to like create like different vowel sounds out of the guitar, even though you can play actual notes on the guitar as you're doing that. So we had a kind of funny setup where I was playing guitar and we had Mike insert the tube into his mouth and just basically make funny mouth shapes as we are tracking this solo in real time. And it was really cool to have a room full of people like providing their input on it. And if I did something that people thought was cool, you know, everyone like cheered or, you know, kind of gave some kind of like really positive affirmation about the whole thing. And it just kind of like really helped push me to try to create the best product that I could for that particular solo. And I'm really stoked for everyone to hear the final product for it when it comes out. And, you know, it's a pretty distinct moment that I'm definitely going to hold on to for a long time.